The Gospel according to John chapter 4. We'll be reading just verses 27 to 34.
Glory to you, Lord.
Just then his disciples returned and were surprised to find him talking with a woman. No one asked, "What do you want?" or "Why are you talking with her?" Then, leaving her water jar behind, the woman went back to the town and said to the people, "Come and see a man who told me everything I ever did. Could this be the Messiah?" They came out of the town and made their way toward him. Meanwhile, his disciples urged him, "Rabbi, eat something." But he said to them, "I have food to eat that you know nothing about." Then his disciples said to each other, "Did someone have brought him food?" "My food," said Jesus, "is to do the will of him who sent me and to finish his work. Don't you have a saying, 'It is still 4 months until the harvest'? I tell you, open your eyes and look at the fields. They are ripe for harvest." The Gospel of our Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Christ.
Please be seated. If you were looking at your celebrated Synagogue today, you'll notice that the Gospel passage is rather long. It's all of John chapter 4 almost. And it's because there's an important story here. And to understand the verses that I just read, we need to understand the context of the whole story. But instead of reading the whole story and you guys getting tired and your calf muscles cramping on you and all that stuff, I thought I'd just kind of retell the story for you. The story begins this, and it's a great story. It's one of my favorite stories in the New Testament. The story begins like this. Jesus and his disciples have already been in Jerusalem for the Passover feast and celebration, and they are returning back to Galilee. They're coming from Jerusalem in the south, walking through the desert back north. It's got to take them at least a couple of weeks to get back home to the northern part of Israel where Galilee is. And in order for them to do that, they have to go through the land of, or the territory of Samaria, where the Samaritans live. And just as a quick reminder, Samaritans are an ethnicity or group of people that are, well, partially Jewish, partially mixed different kinds of ethnicities. But the key thing is that Samaritans and Jews did not get along. They hated each other. And one of the reasons why they didn't get along is the Samaritans kept some of their Jewish ethnicity throughout the many decades and centuries that they were in existence. And they built their own version of Judaism, where they had their own temple, their own priesthood, their own ways of worshiping God, their own sacrifices. And the Jewish people hated, they had their own ways of observing the laws. And the Jewish, they were like a mirror image of the Jewish faith. And that just riled up the Jewish people, and it created ethnic tension. So the Samaritans and the Jews didn't get along at all. They had all sorts of laws about how they could and could not interact with each other. But in order for the disciples and Jesus to get home after the Passover celebration, well, they got to go through Samaria because it's in between Galilee and Jerusalem. So they're walking home. And it's in the middle of the day, and it's hot, and so Jesus is tired, and he sits down by a well, and the disciples to go into this nearby little village in order to get some food. And as Jesus is there, a woman comes to the well. Now, much has been said about this woman, and we know very little about this woman, except for the information in the story. And what's important to note about this woman is that she's actually quite intelligent, quite brilliant. Because as she approaches the well and she's getting her water out of the well by herself, middle of the day, hottest part of the day, no one is there to help her. She's very significantly coming at a time when no one else is supposed to be at the well. Jesus approaches her and asks her a question. It kind of startles her. Because he is a man, she's a woman, strike one. He is Jewish and she is Samaritan, strike two. And, well, she doesn't have the greatest reputation in town probably, and so strike three. She never expected Jesus to talk to her. But he does. He opens up a dialogue with her. And she holds her own in this back and forth dialogue where when Jesus asks her a question, she responds with an even better question. And then Jesus responds to her with a different question, trying to stump her, and she comes back and she fires right back at Jesus. And she's really holding her own, demonstrating just how intelligent of a person she is. And they're going through back and forth, and they touch on some of the most controversial and the hot topics of the day, like where's the correct place to worship, and back and forth. And Jesus is so impressed by her actually does a significant thing. He reveals to her that he is the Messiah. He openly says, and this is rare, he only does this on 3 occasions, publicly. To her, to the Peter, James, and John at the Transfiguration, and before Pilate, before he is going to be crucified. That's it. Everybody else, he always refers to himself as the Son of Man. Kind of a code word coming from Daniel to refer to himself as the Messiah without publicly saying he's the Messiah. But this woman he honors above almost everybody else. Why? Because he knows her heart and her mind, despite the labels that probably her village and the disciples and everybody else give her. Ways that they think of her, and they think of her as probably as a dirty sinner who's not worthy of them because of her past, whether it was earned or not. So she is having this incredible dialogue with Jesus, and the disciples come back and they interrupt. And she's startled, she leaves her bucket behind and runs back into town. And when she sees everybody in town, she has an incredible reaction to them. She says to them, "Hey, come and meet this guy Jesus. He's incredible. I think he's the Messiah. You gotta come and meet him. Come on, just come and meet him." And she comes back and she introduces them to Jesus. They're amazed and they invite Jesus to stay at their town. Jesus stays in this Samaritan village, another breaking of the law. He stays there for a couple days, and a whole revival breaks out, and all these people begin to follow Jesus and worship God. It's an incredible story. But I also look at not just the woman and her incredible reaction to Jesus, but also about the disciples. See, the disciples have gone into town to get food, and they're getting food while this woman is having her incredible dialogue with Jesus. And as they come back to town, they see Jesus from kind of a distance. And I can imagine what the dialogue is going like, because they're probably trading stories. Before they returned on their journey, they had been sent out to do baptisms and things like this. And so they had already been, ministering in Jesus' name and having successful ministry stories. And I can bet, as they're men, they're coming back, they're comparing, who cast out the biggest demon, who baptized the most people, that's what guys do. And so I can just imagine them sharing their stories. And then all of a sudden they see Jesus in the distance talking to this woman. And someone says, "All right, guys, hold on, wait a minute here. No, what is that? That's Jesus. And who is he talking to? Is that a woman? A woman? Oh my Lord. And it's not just a woman, it's a Samaritan woman. Do you guys believe this? And that's not just any Samaritan woman. Isn't that the one we heard all those wild stories about in town? That's it. Jesus has gone too far. Someone is going to have to tell Jesus, he just can't do this, okay? Peter, you do it. No, I'm not doing it. John, you do it. And they go back and forth with this kind of dialogue. They know something's wrong, and they're upset that Jesus is talking to this woman, but they're too afraid, it says, to actually say anything to Jesus. And so what do? They come back, they startle the woman, she runs into town, and they ask Jesus, do you want some food? Now, as we encounter this story, there's a huge question there's always on my mind every time I read the story. In fact, I always shout it out at the disciples every time I read the story. And I've read the story over 100 times. And it's this, and it's the most important question we can ask today. Why do the disciples return from town alone? Think about that. Why do the disciples return from town alone? They had just gone into town. It's a little village filled with Samaritans. They get some food to bring back to feed Jesus. This woman, but they come back by themselves. This woman leaves after they startle her. She goes back into town. She gets the whole town to come and meet Jesus. And then Jesus goes back to these stays and a big revival breaks out. But the disciples, when they return from town, they don't bring anybody to meet Jesus. Why is that? You have to ask that question to understand the response Jesus gives them, which is the part that we read in the story. You see, when they ask Jesus, "Would you like some food?" And Jesus responds, "I have food." And they're like, "Who gave you food? What's going on here? Who gave you food?" And Jesus, "My food is to do the will of the work that God has given me. Don't you see and understand? Look around you. The harvest is ready. And then, as he says those words, I can just imagine the woman coming back with all those people, this visible object blessing. You see, when the disciples went into town, all they saw were a bunch of Samaritans. That word, people with a label. People who were disgusting, people who were different, people who didn't deserve God, and people who weren't, of course, interested in worshiping correctly, right? That's the label the Jewish people gave Samaritans. They didn't see people who needed to meet Jesus. They just saw these labels, these people, these objects. The woman goes back into town after them, and she had every reason to hate these people. These people gave her incredible labels. We have no idea how many men she was with or why. Was it because she was, that kind of a woman, or was it because she was forced to do this? She's certainly an intelligent, brilliant woman. And she goes in, and it's a small town, so everybody knows everybody else's business, and so they know her past or whatever. She had every reason to be resentful towards these people who, I'm sure, did not treat her well. But instead of seeing people who have hurt her and have labeled her as something less than welcome in society, she sees people who need to meet Jesus. And there must have been something about her passion. Note, she doesn't start a theological discourse with them. Note, she doesn't try to change their ways so they start treating her kindly. Note, she doesn't try and change how they worship God. She doesn't change how they dress or anything like that. All she says to them, come and meet Jesus. This guy is incredible. You will not believe what he can do. Just come and meet him, right? And that's all she has to do. And they're intrigued and they want to come. And Jesus lifts her up and says, see, this woman gets it. She understands people are waiting and wanting to meet Jesus. The harvest is ready. It was true back then, and it's true for us today. Our problem isn't that people don't want to meet Jesus. Our problem is that we give out labels to people. That person's just too poor. That person's too much of a sinner. That person's not interested in church. No one's interested in church. That person's too young. Young people don't like church, right? We have all these labels and assumptions, and none of them are true. The only truth that we have to hold on to is that people are waiting and wanting to meet Jesus. The harvest is ready. Workers are few. It's a powerful truth. Our takeaway for today, remember our takeaways are the truths that we hang our faith to. It's this: the purpose of the cross was to save us from a life without Jesus. We always talk about how Jesus saved us on the cross, but ask yourself, what did Jesus save you from? Not some eternal torture. It's eternal life without God. That's what hell is. Jesus saved us so that we could be with God, so that we could have a relationship with God, so that people could meet Jesus. This woman got it. The disciples didn't. So our first takeaway, it's just that truth. We've got to hold on to that truth. The purpose of the cross was to save us from a life without God. And our second takeaway is this: people are waiting and wanting to meet Jesus. We've got to get rid of the labels that we assign to people. We've got to get rid of the assumptions that we have that people aren't interested. They never want to discuss Jesus or learn about Jesus. People are waiting. People might not want church. People might not want anything to do with Christians. People might not want to have anything to do with organized religion. Yes, those are true. But people want and are waiting to meet Jesus. And this woman gives us the perfect template for sharing our faith. We don't change people's hearts. That's God's business. We don't have to get people to dress or talk or be like us. We don't have to have a theological discussion. We don't have to convince anybody of anything. All we do is say, hey, there's this guy named Jesus. You will not believe what he has done in my life. Would you like to come meet him? And then invite the person to a meeting where they can hear the gospel story. This is a powerful testimony, isn't it? That's powerful. Our theme during Lent is moving towards the cross. Take out your crosses. Everybody should have a cross, a wooden cross, if you came in. If not, raise your hand and the ushers will bring one in. But each service during Lent, we're taking a moment to contemplate the cross. And this is the next thing for our truth about the cross. Go to the next slide if you can. take a moment to pray. And there's three things. Give thanks that God fixed our relationship. God made it possible for us to have a relationship with Him. Take a moment to thank God for that. And then confess your wrong attitudes about people. Whatever attitude or label that you've used, assumption about a person, confess that to God. And then ask God to show you who you can introduce to Jesus. Because part of moving towards the cross is understanding the cross is all about helping people. The purpose of the cross was to help us have a relationship with God, to make it possible for us to have a relationship with God. And so moving our lives towards the cross means we're being like the Samaritan woman. And we're helping people meet Jesus, who helps them have a relationship with God. Let's take a moment to pray. Simon, go ahead and grab your cross and contemplate the meaning of the cross. Dear Lord, we thank you so much that you have made it possible for us to know you. We confess to you that often we have labels. We just assume things about other people and who they are and their value in your eyes. Forgive us of the false labels and assumptions that we so often easily make. And Lord, we pray that your Spirit will touch our hearts and our minds. Help us to see people who want and are waiting to meet you. Help us introduce people to Jesus. Give us the courage, give us the voice, give us the nudge that we need to introduce people and let them know how wonderful you are. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Please stand for our song today.